Recording in progress.
What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy, Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And who am I with? As always, Joseph Huggins, aka Old Man Huggie. Talk shit or get off the pod. Episode 91. Indicted. BIGLY. Welcome, motherfuckers.
What's up, man? Oh my god. Dude, I was like grinding all day. Literally was like walking out, speeding, cut some old lady off who was tripping. Bessie in the Oldsmobile, get the fuck out of the left lane if you're gonna go 55.
Fucking Karen.
With I mean, okay, and like they're Florida plates. It's like, this is Texas, bro. Like the speed limit, the speed limit's 75. You can go 85. Like, get the fuck out of the way. It's cruising in the left lane.
I was just talking to a guy recently who's from Florida, and he says like everybody in Florida sucks at driving.
Everybody everywhere sucks at driving. Let's be honest.
But I mean, what's the difference between Florida and Texas now? I can't tell.
We just have high speed limits in Texas. So like in Colorado, beautiful highways, huge, like 5-lane highways, 55. So if you're at traffic, the speed limits are so low. Like, they have really low speed limits. They have goofy laws out there. I mean, if you drive, you automatically agree. If you're driving in Colorado, you automatically agree to a sobriety test. So if you refuse a sobriety test at all, you lose your license for like a year, like right off the bat, whether you are proven to have it in your system or not.
That's the same in California.
Yeah, that's
someone who I shall not name, Braids. He refused a breathalyzer, and they have a year to file the case, and they never filed it, so he never lost his license.
Round of applause for Braids beating the system.
He would have the audacity to say
no. I'm not doing that. I'm wearing my own shirt that I made. Like, no.
I always used to say yes because I thought I was gonna beat it, because I beat like a couple breathalyzers like back in the day.
Yeah,
I thought I was untouchable. But let me correct you though. Florida has high speed limits, and by that I mean high meth use.
Oh, okay, that's true. Well, but in in Texas, like if you're on 75 in downtown Dallas, the speed limit on 75 is 75, not 65. Not 55, not 70. Like, it's so much traffic, but you get in this lane, like everybody's like, right? And you'll have one schmuck who's driving hella slow and not paying attention, or doing something on their phone, or eating a fucking Choco Taco or something. And you're like, dude, get the fuck out of the way. And it's dangerous. It makes it more dangerous. 635 in Dallas and 75 is like a fucking war zone. So if you're not going with the flow of traffic, like, you're in the way. And not just for me, like the 50 people behind me that are like, go 75 at least, but you can go 85. You can easily go 85.
I just got a ticket for going 85 in November, and I was like, I'm not, and it was like $700, and I'm like, fuck that. Like, so I went to go to court. Yeah, fight it in court. And the judge, like, the way that he broke it down was like, and he's like, now everybody who wants to change their plea to from not guilty, like, I'll take
what happened
next to that wall, and then every single person. What?
Oh no, I got you. You're good.
Okay, so every single person got up and went to the wall, and I was like, fuck. And then there was somebody who was going first to combat it, and they had like printouts of like the map, or like screenshots of like where he got pulled over, and he was like all prepared, and I had nothing. I was just gonna be like, this is bullshit. So I got up and went to the wall, and then he reduced it down to like $250 and gave me traffic school. So
I
I
that's not
saved
bad.
$400 by going.
That's not bad. So, all right, this is like kind of a. I guess this isn't that bad of a story, but so I used to like cycle all the time, and I had my car in Austin, and I got pulled over. And it was like no insurance and something else, and they were like, all right, whatever, like get the fuck out of here. The guy kind of pulled me when he pulled me over. My car was registered like to my dad, who's like a 80-year-old white guy who lives
Oh
in
yeah.
so he was like, whose car is this? I was like, it's my dad's. And he's like, oh yeah.
Oh shit.
I was like, yeah. I was like, adoption's like totally a thing. That's like and then he ended up letting me go or whatever. He wrote me some tickets with a summons. And then when I go to court, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm cycling, I'm leaving somewhere, and dude, okay, maybe I shouldn't tell the story. I totally had some weed in my backpack. I mean, this was like forever ago. I was like 24, 25. And I get to the court, and you have to like go through like the detector. So I just walk outside and like throw it in a bush, go inside to go to court, go through, and I'm in this huge room full of people, and it's all DUIs, DWIs, and possession. That's everybody in this room. I have like two traffic tickets. So he's like, all right, look, he kind of got the same speech, but he was talking to everybody, but basically me, because I was the only person in this courtroom who didn't have anything, and I showed up late. I was like in the H's, and I went first. So because he goes like, all right, so if you're gonna, plead no contest, we could do this. It'll be a ticket, blah blah blah. And then if you have, DWIs, y'all are going last because that's like more serious, blah blah blah. And he's like, all right, so start off, Joseph Huggins. Are you here? Stand up. And I walk up, and he's like, all right, look, man, like, are you driving there? I was like, nah, I'm just cycling all the time. He's like, all right, cool. Well, I'm just gonna like toss these tickets out because the cop's not here. And I was totally like, okay, I'm gonna have to pay for this or whatever. And he was like, just like stop driving, get your shit together before you start driving again. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, all right, have a good day. And I just like turned around and walked out, and there's like 80 people in the room who are all just like super pissed, or they have like some lawyer guy and they're talking in the hallway, and I was like, oh, bye everybody.
I mean, they actually did do the roll call for the cops before they gave us like the plea deal.
Yeah.
And my cop was there for me and somebody else. So that whoever that fucking other person is who caught the same court date as me, fuck you.
Would you be the cop that showed up? I'd be a cop that show up.
I would too.
If I was the cop, I'd be like,
why am I
fuck
giving
yeah.
out tickets otherwise?
Yeah.
And I don't have to go sit on the freeway and look for people to like pull over. I can go chill at the courthouse.
That's a day off.
Yeah, and there's the hot lawyers like walking around in like their pencil skirts. Shout out. But
no, I was busted.
My cop was there. I think every single cop was there.
Oh yeah, it's a day
so
off.
it was
They
like
get
30
paid.
people. I know, but what I heard was like most of the time cops don't show up. It was like nah, they showed up for everybody.
Depends on where you are and what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fuck the police.
But yeah, but I had to bust it to get here, man. So apologies for being late, but we made it. 91. We're single digits away from 100. That's fucking wild to me.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not a girl telling me that you're late, then we're good. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna put on here on the therapy question: would you rather always have to be casually late or casually early? And I was like, well, it's Joseph. Like, we already know that like he's gonna be late.
Oh wow.
COP.
Was that a
or CPT?
Yeah, was that? Yeah, you don't even know the derogatory.
CPT, color people time.
Yeah, you put on that Trump hoodie and you just get.
Oh yeah. So y'all, we're gonna. Today was a historic day. Trump got arrested for the second time in 2 months, so we're gonna talk about that. But before that, we were gonna start with the therapy questions. But let me just give the audience watching the live stream a little taste of Trump drinking Clorox bleach like he told us to do.
You've worn that before, like forever
I know,
ago, like somewhere
like a
like
year
the
ago,
30s, like in the 30s. But no, yeah. And I decided I got back. I was like, all right, bust it. I just grabbed a shirt, and this is a American Eagle shirt from high school. Still kind of fits, a little flub, but not too bad. But I was like, okay, like, and we were arguing before we went live that I was like, man, this was like, sure, it was like 80
You said
bucks or
80
80
bucks.
bucks, and then I chopped it down to 50 because they were.
I'm
they
thinking
were
like
expensive.
39.
No way, dog. This ain't on sale. You think I got this? Is the stitching? This is hand stitched. Some white boy named.
No, you got that. You got
some,
that's that bootleg American Eagle.
Some white boy named Caden wore this on like a shopping bag or something.
Nah, that's Puerto Rican Eagle.
Puerto Rican Eagle. That's tight. That would be awesome.
That's that bootleg shit.
Hey, hell yeah, let's go.
All right, y'all. So let's start it off with therapy questions. Now, as you all know, I harnessed the powers of my boy ChatGPT.
Shout out,
aka Sydney.
ChatGPT, doing the hard work for you.
No, I mean, a lot of companies are integrating AI into the, and we're ahead of the game. We're ahead of the game here. I bet a lot of podcasts don't even think about using it because they're idiots. So this time, last time I said I got icebreaker questions from cousin Greg. This time I put in Tom Wamscan's, Greg's nasty brother, disgusting brother.
Yeah, I love. You got to crack a few Gregs to make a Tomlet. I say that all the time. I love that. That's so great.
Okay, so I used him. I used Chappelle, and then cousin Greg again, because I asked for 50 questions or 30 questions, and it cacked out at 23, and then I asked for 25, and it cacked out at 22. So I don't know what ChatGPT's doing today. Maybe it's just
you got to pay for the premium.
I asked it to make questions in the style of Donald Trump. No, an episode title in the style of Donald Trump, to see what would come up, and it wouldn't pull it up. It said that it's a chat bot, or it's an AI, and it doesn't like to get into political controversy, so it wasn't going to list off episode titles.
That's to stop people from coming up with like weird hoax shit with ChatGPT. You could do that. Right.
You could do deep fakes, like, oh yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, dude. Like the Joe Biden deep fakes are just so good to me, especially one where he talks about being a wizard. That one's so good. The wizard and any of the weed ones, unfortunately, they're absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, my boys Tommy Vitor and Ben Rhodes, who host the podcast Pod Save the World, they were in the Obama administration, so they worked with Biden all the time, and Tommy will all the time they'll have people on from the Biden administration, or that used to work, and they'll always play like a deep fake of audio of Biden talking, and not tell them, and then they're like, so what do you think about your boss saying that? And they're like, what the fuck? And it's like crazy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's too many wizards on my block. Like, too good. This is too good.
All right. Therapy question number 1 from the Tomlet from Succession.
Yeah, dude.
If you could name a yacht after yourself, what would you call it?
Well, man, I've got like so many nicknames at this point that I could name it anything.
Yeah, well, you have to pick one.
It has to be after me.
No, you can name your
like
a yacht after yourself. I guess that says that in the question. No, just name whatever you want to call your yacht that we're about to get.
It'd be something like Scrooge McDuck, something like that. Something, because if I have a yacht, it's gonna be like a super yacht, right? I'm not having no little bitch ass yacht. This is gonna be
you can't have a bitch ass.
It'd have to be like Scrooge McDuck, and I could have like a big painting. I'd have like a big decal of Scrooge McDuck, like diving into
the gold coins.
That'd be sick. That would be absolutely epic. And if I had to do it after myself, it would be like J Hugalicious or something absurd, something stupid. It'd have to be the Hug Boat.
So for a while, my dad was planning on getting a yacht, and saving up to get one, but he was into it, and he had picked one out, and he was gonna call it the Incorrigible, because when he was in 8th grade, one of his teachers said that he was incorrigible, which means can't learn. Yeah. And so he was it was like a fuck you to that teacher. So for me, what would I call my yacht? I would say the bad bitch too,
The bad
and I don't
bitch.
even two, and that way people think I have two yachts.
Ooh, that's good. That's not bad.
Because you're supposed to name it after a lady, right?
Uh, so they say. I feel like that's a little dated. You know, that
Yeah, that
sounds
is dating. Because a lot of times it's like just a funny
sounds
pun.
like the patriarchy.
Oh my god, I got into a discussion in group therapy about the patriarchy.
Oh, really? Oh,
I was the
Jesus.
only guy in a women's group, and but they were like just talking shit about the patriarchy, but and I was just like clowning them. And then in the group therapy, the counselor brought up that if like you're like really anxious and like have to like feel like you have to get shit done, it stems from the mother, uh, like for some reason, and she was explaining it.
Like in your
And
relationship with them, or just like,
like
what?
just if you're like a anxiety ridden person and like like you're not satisfied, you have to like get shit done, that personality trait comes from the mother is what she was saying.
Hmm.
Yeah. and and then I was like, I just chimed in and I was like, women, am I right, ladies? It was just like, it's like, come on, man, I'm the only guy in here, what are
I'm
we
the only
talking about?
guy. I'm wearing a Donald Trump drinking Clorox hoodie. Like, what'd you expect? I walked. What do you think was gonna happen when I sat down?
Now one of the girls in that group therapy, she's calling me, she thinks the male version of a Karen is a Kevin. And I said, no, I think it's a Darren or a Chad. But she was
No,
calling me,
Chad's different. Chad's like
yeah, that's what I thought. But they were,
frat
yeah,
dude.
right. I thought it was Darren because that rhymes and that sounds like a douchebag
No,
anyways.
Kevin's like top three. So Kevin.
Todd.
Yeah, I just like to pull random names out. Like so
Right,
I'll
me too.
so I'll be
So
like
she
I'll be
pulled
like
out,
chill out, Randy. Like pick like just random names like about the person so they don't necessarily hear me do it, but it'll be somebody's being a dick and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is up with Keith over there? He needs to chill the fuck out. Like just pick a random like
okay, but
boomer
like,
prominent
how
name.
the fuck am I a Kevin? Like, get the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
You're just opinionated,
I
but
know,
that's
but
not necessarily.
that's not what she was saying. It was like all I do is crack jokes in these group
Well,
therapies.
that's not a male version. That's just like being a wise ass.
Yeah,
You'd
and
be
like
more like Andrew
she's only
Dice
been in
Clay.
yeah, like I'm like infamous. I got pulled into a room by the administrator there and asked she was asking me if everything was okay because I haven't been making as much jokes as I used to in the group. So like I'm like known for being funny
Like
and
that's what I
but
do,
this
bro.
yeah, but this chick isn't aware of that, so she's just like thinks like she said I'm annoying, and then I'll come up to her like outside of the group. I'm like, Andy's annoying, and then she's like, oh, so you're gonna start the day off by being annoying? And I was like, yeah. All right,
Nice.
the bad bitch too, and
Probably Scrooge
Scrooge
McDuck.
McDuck.
That'd be
Yeah, that's
sick. That'd be
yeah.
sick, man. Because I mean, and then you got to think about it. You could have like a little mini Scrooge McDuck like statue somewhere. You could do all sorts of shit. You could roll up on people at the beach in some big fucking yacht playing the DuckTales theme song, and people would just have to like deal with it. It'd be like, deal with it, bro. And then you could have a helicopter, and that could be Duck McCloud, and you could put the little Duck McCloud homie on there, the pilot guy, bruh. Yeah,
I
Scrooge
mean,
McDuck.
the title of this episode would be a good one. Just indicted Bigly on your
Big or
yacht.
just Bigly, just
Big.
Bigly.
That's what I was thinking. That
Yeah,
yeah, just Bigly.
Bigly, the best deal we've ever
Everybody's
had.
talking about it.
Everybody's talking
I
about
got a discount on the yacht. It's like that's the one thing you don't want to discount on
it.
is your
True,
yacht. It's like
true.
you're paying like a couple 100,000, a couple million extra.
But that's some wild stuff. So if you get into like yachts or you get into like being an equestrian, which to me sounds like water polo, but it's horses. But equestrian, something about that makes it sound aquatic as fuck to me. Is that weird?
Yes.
Is that really? It doesn't sound
Yeah.
like it has shit to do with horses.
But I've been to equine therapy. Dude, there's like a big problem going on with horse racing right now. Like
Horse
fucking
racing
like
is one of the most corrupt sports in the entire world. Like,
my uncle was the president of Hollywood Park, which is a big ass thing, and now he lobbies the California government for on behalf of the horse racing industry.
oh wow,
Uh, yeah, but yeah, like 13 horses in 1 month died at Churchill Downs where they run the Kentucky Derby. Like so they shut down all racing there. And yeah, and then but also the Belmont was pretty cool. The first woman trainer ever in like 150 years. Her horse won, and like they have a video of her like while the race is going, and she's just like losing her mind, and then she just like breaks down crying because she's a woman.
Well, because yeah, she's said, dude. But that's no boxing. What is it? Boxing, swimming, and
Cycling,
no, like no, yeah, cycling's up there. Horse racing's up there. Those are like the most predominant.
baseball.
No, not even baseball. Like
I know,
it's
I
like
know.
predominantly the most cheated in sports, and horse racing's like top three. So there's all sorts of goofy shit. There's been murders at stables over horses. People are running around paying like $500,000 for a cup of jizz. Like, get out of here, bro. That's some weird
I mean,
rich
dude,
people shit. That's when
that
you
is
know
some,
you're a
that
real.
is some rich people shit.
When you're selling other animals jizz, that's like you've reached a whole nother level of rich that you don't even like. None of us understand.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you can win money on the horse like winning shit, but also you can win money just jerking it off and
Well,
selling it
well, the
sperm.
breeding, they make a lot of money, and
That's what I'm
tons. Yeah,
saying.
there's tons of money, but it's selling vials of horse jizz for $250,000 a pop. What that sounds like the life. Like I don't know.
I think we maxed out on saying horse jizz like before YouTube just kicks us off.
I don't know. I think in context when we're talking about sport.
I know, but it's a bot that would kick us off.
That's true. Like that 3 times is too many.
ChatGPT is like, sorry, bro.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I tried to help. I gave you 22 questions.
I guess it wouldn't be ChatGPT. It would be Bard because that's Google's version,
Oh, okay.
and Google owns YouTube. Okay. Yeah. Therapy question number 2, also from Tom Whamsgams. If you had to choose between an unlimited supply of caviar or a lifetime membership to the most exclusive golf club, which would you pick?
The golf club.
Why?
Because golf is a sport, it's a skill that you acquire with time. So you'd have the opportunity to like be fantastic at golf. You could host all sorts of business meetings and impress the fuck out of people. Then when you're old, you could hang out and just eat at the country club or eat at the golf club because they have good food. That'd be G as fuck. I don't want a lifetime supply of caviar unless I'm
Yes, you do.
selling it. Unless I'm selling that shit.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So not only do you have you could be throwing parties, business meetings, and have like the best fucking caviar like out on the table at all times, and you have an unlimited supply. So you just become the fucking head dealer of caviar. So you think about how many rich
The Kaiser
people you're
Sosa.
gonna network.
The Kaiser Sosa of fucking
Yeah.
caviar. Yeah, I mean, I guess when you put it that way, it'd be more for like the selling it. I don't know if because the golf
You
would be
could get a
tight.
membership. You could get a membership in an exclusive golf club by being
Yeah, but
the
it's
caviar king.
the most exclusive golf club. I mean, you could be playing golf with anybody. You could be playing. Look over there, and Snoop's playing golf, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up?" You would just be there. Like, I mean, I think there's not a downside to either of them because who knows what
I
that
know.
membership
That's
would
what-
cost.
So after every one of these questions, Tom responds to like what he would do, and he was like, "That's a tough life choice. I know."
Yeah, because the caviar to sell it and stuff and hustle it, that'd be tight. Other than that, I don't.
So tight. No, like, and you would be the head honcho of the caviar game, taking over the caviar game. Woo! That's some rich shit. That's past jerking off horses.
It's true. You'd
Yeah.
be jerking off a lot of horses if you were the caviar king,
Oh man,
dude.
double.
Just
It's like the shake it weights or whatever.
Stacking cash, dude. Just making all sorts off.
Oh my god. You'd be like involved with the cartels, the Putin administration.
You'd be selling other types. It wouldn't just be horses. It'd be like hippos. You'd be in like
hippo just?
yeah. You'd be deep in the game, dude. You'd be,
No, maybe like rhinoceros because you know that those tusks.
be
go
saving
for
the
a lot of
planet.
money.
You'd be saving the planet. Jesus Christ. They go for a lot of money. That's terrible.
Baby white rhino.
That's true.
All right, y'all. Therapy question number 3. If you had your own reality TV show, what would it be called?
Huggy time. No, I don't know.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah. Like huggy days and huggy nights. It'd be something like that. The days of our hugs. That'd be tight.
The days of our hugs.
But instead of like a spinning like hourglass, it'd be something. Be like a OE 4040, like Days of Our Lives. Because at the beginning of Days of Our Lives,
Okay,
was
but,
that.
yeah, but that's a soap opera, not a reality show.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be kind of like a soap opera.
You just because you watched it back in the day with your sister.
You
like
just
a
play
dork.
it, whatever. That show's classic. Come on, man.
Ugh.
Didn't have a
It's
choice.
all about All My Children, homie.
I watched that too, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Because I
knew you did. I knew you did.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice, man. It was
It just
either like,
outed you.
yeah, if I was in trouble and I couldn't, like, my mom like snatched up my Dreamcast or some shit, and my sister was watching us. It was like I could watch TV with my sister, and it would be all that shit. General Hospital, Young and Restless, or whatever. And then, yeah, of course, Days of Our Lives, bro. Days of Our Lives is G as fuck.
Okay.
But when I started watching it, it was super fucked up. All right, so there's a crazy timeline in Days of Our Lives. There's a period of time where there's this evil guy Stefano, who's this weird goofy ass dude, and then there's John and Marlena. John is John Black. He's like a preacher. He's like a priest. And Marlena.
Why's it got to be black?
That's just his name. But Marlena, his wife,
Okay.
like dies or something, and then she comes back as a ghost and is like possessed and tries to kill him, and he has to like perform this exorcism. And when that was going on is like when I started watching Days of Our Lives as a kid, and it blew my fucking mind, bro. I thought it was the craziest show I've ever seen, because there's this woman, she had like yellow contacts in, but this is like pure 95, 97 stuff. So they might not even like, they might have ruined her eyes for forever. They were still figuring that shit out. But she was like all like a demon running around, and it was like, dude, I'm telling you, bro. I will find the clips of it. It is fucking
No,
hilarious.
save me. I don't.
No,
I
I'm
don't
going
need
to
go down that. I don't need to go down that path.
Dude, the John, and then he like he like saves her, and like this demon leaves her. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. To like have no context. The show's been on for like 20 years. I have no idea who any of these people are, and there's this demon woman running around trying to murder this priest named John Black. It was tight as fuck. Shout out.
So
Days of Our Lives. I think they just canceled it, though. I think it just ended, didn't it?
So are your Days of Our Hugs?
Yeah.
Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like nugs through a grinder, so are the days of our hugs. Da-na-na-na-na.
I think I would probably go with like Mr. Goody's World.
Like Bobby's World.
Yeah.
That'd be tight.
Or the Goody Project.
That would be good, but that would have to be, yeah, you'd have to be doing something. That sounds more like
working on myself.
Well, that sounds like a Big and Rob type thing, where you have like a big area where you're like, we're gonna do something cool today. We're gonna like some Mr. B shit.
Yeah.
The Goody Project.
The Goody Project. I just go out in the projects and talk shit to people.
Yeah, what's up, bitch?
Yeah.
You've been standing out here for 5 days straight. You stupid as hell. It's like, what?
I just started throwing gang signs.
He's in the corner stacking. They're like, who is this white boy?
They're like, yeah,
In
beat up all the time.
In the Henry Kissinger pearl snap button up.
That's so funny. I was just listening to a podcast about Henry Kissinger and how he's a war criminal.
No, he's like a horrible person.
Yeah, he is. He's responsible for 3.5 million deaths, like when he was illegally bombing Cambodia and Laos. And they were just talking about like how he would always get away with shit. Like he's the only person in the Nixon administration that didn't get caught up with like the scandal,
Oh yeah,
Watergate.
There's a great meme where every time somebody like shitty passes away, it's like the Grim Reaper at this vending machine, like one of those claw machines, and it says like, please tell me it's Henry Kissinger, and it's like the head of somebody else that's not him, and they're like, shit,
he just turned 100.
Yeah, and they're like, shit, is he even in this thing? Like it's like he's a garbage person.
I know, but he apparently was like a ladies' man back in the day, and I was like, that fucking, like, I can't stand the way he talks, and he looks like a fucking monster. But I saw some pictures of him back in like the 60s, and smooth looking guy. So I could see him pulling.
Shout out young Henry Kissinger for being a
I mean, he's
for
like,
being a
I think
war
he's a
criminal,
sociopath. He's a
mass
sociopath.
murderer, and a lady killer. Figuratively.
Yeah, or
Allegedly.
literally.
Allegedly.
All right. Therapy question number 4. If you could have any celebrity as your personal hype man, who would it be? Dave Chappelle picked Sam Jackson.
Personal hype man. That's a good one. It's got to be someone with some style and some charisma, so that like people are excited to see that person.
Right.
So like Jack Black would probably be a good hype man, because he would just run in and be like, "Hey, it's me," and everyone would be like, "Holy shit, that's Jack Black," and he'd just go crazy and then introduce you, and it'd always be different.
You can't be low energy Jab Bush, you know. Can't be low energy.
Yeah, you don't want
that's
that.
right. That's right. We got a shot on Jab again.
Big left turn. Steve Bannon might be a good hype man, because he would just corral people. He would manipulate the fuck out of people and lie to get crowds.
Bro, he wears 3 shirts, like, probably because he has like bad body odor.
I know. I saw him, and I think it was, well, we'll talk about that in a bit, but I was watching a lot of Steve Bannon this morning, watching some War Room, just laughing and being like, dude, these people are fucking insane. They say some wild shit on there. I was just like entranced with it.
I know. Well, speaking of Tommy Vitor from Pod Save the World, he listens every single day, and like he's into it, but like it like hates himself because he has to listen to it, or he doesn't have to, but he does.
Yeah, it was super interesting, and like watching it, and they have people out like outside the courthouse like reporting and doing a live feed, and they have like the camera kind of turned so you can't really see how many people are there, because you're just like looking at these fucking trees, and then whenever there is a bunch of people that are like in a group, and there's like, you can distinguishly make out like 15 people, but they'll part a little bit to the left, and I'm like see the car across the street, and I'm like, no man, that's I used to work in clubs, like that's not deep at all. I could see the wall all the way over there, like there's no one there. But they were trying to frame it like it was, oh, there's tens of thousands, and BLM and Antifa are on the way. But yeah, Jack Black would be a good one.
I'm gonna go with Juicy J.
Juicy J would be good.
From 3-6 Mafia.
That would be good.
Like, as a hype man, he's like the best, because he's always doing like features, like because he makes the beat. And then
my kick game is a beast. I got 10 pairs of Jordans that done ain't been released. Space Jam 11. Hey, let's go.
He's a beast.
Yeah,
we call her Karma.
That would be.
I eat her out like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, that's true. That's a line. He got really into just like making every singer like went through their like stripper phase, and they were just like, Juicy J, we need a hit, and he's just like, hey.
Me and Vigo, when we were like recording all the time, like back in the day, we were always trying to record a stripper anthem. Like that was our goal. And so we did come out with one called "Get It for Free." It's about not paying strippers.
Get it for free.
I get it for free.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx would be a good one.
Yeah, but he's old.
Well, yeah.
I guess Juicy J's pretty old, probably.
Yeah, Juicy J.
But black don't crack. Our boy Iron Abe Tyson cleans Jamie Foxx's pool.
That's tight.
And he knew Jamie Foxx was having a Halloween party, and he had all the information like on how to get into the gate and everything. So we were thinking about crashing it, like, but we had to wear masks so that he didn't see Tyson, because he's out there all the time. Like Tyson says that he's always picking out like empty champagne bottles out of the pool, and like it's like all sorts of shit.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Hey man, aren't you the pool guy?"
I think he would be cool with it, but Tyson didn't want to fuck up, because he does like a lot of celebrities. Like his company has like the in on celebrities. Like he does Dwayne Wade's pool. My homie just told me that Gabrielle Union is having an affair with some guy. He knew the guy's name on Dwayne Wade. And I was thinking, like, I wonder if they're both like hooking up with other people and they're just know they make more money together.
Yeah, but I mean, had a baby outside of. He cheated on her and had a baby outside the
Right.
marriage. So I mean,
So I could see them like being like, "Hey, we're gonna stay married and get the money as a married couple, but we're not together."
like, are they a future Will Smith and Jada Pinkett?
I think they already are.
They're like a new generation version of them. That's possible.
Yeah. Big Willie was teaching, little Dwayne Wade.
He's like, this is how you have a mental breakdown, man. This is how you lose it. This is how you lose all respect defending your wife that everybody hates because she's treated you so badly. But you're going to like overstep your bounds, dog, and like really make a play that just makes you the bad guy. This is what you do.
You remember I called you right after that happened? I was like, we have to have an emergency podcast, but
Yeah.
it was for the Screenplayers, like the movie podcast that we had. And
Yeah.
it was just like, this is insane. But
See, I think that, okay, so obviously on YouTube we can't do screenplays, but we could do it on like Kick or something where the rules are less strict. I think we could do it. I know we could do it on Facebook. I know we could run it just on Facebook, but yeah, we'll talk about
yeah,
that.
because the people at Meta don't give a fuck
they're
about
like,
the law.
Yeah, they're like, we don't give a fuck.
Zuckerberg's like, I don't give a fuck.
I'm out here pale as shit on my win board, bitch.
I'm out here promoting groups on Instagram that sex traffic children. That's a thing.
Yeah, I've read about that. That's pretty.
Yeah. Thanks, Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, because you're a bitch.
You are biggity bitch.
This comment was brought to you by MySpace.
You know what? I was just
Tom never stopped being your friend. Let him back into your life.
thinking like about this earlier today. Actually, I completely like forget about it. But when we first started the podcast, I created like the page, and Facebook like reached out to me like without me even talking to them and wanted to consult me on like growing the page. And I actually got on the phone with somebody, and I was like, listen, like the problem is that you won't let me like have the word shit in my title.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
talk
that.
shit or get off the pod. Yeah, and the girl I was talking to, she was like, I was like, I mean, that's a fucking good name for a podcast. And she's like, I know, it is really good. And she was like, it is the algorithm. Like there's like, I was like, there's nothing we can do to get around it. She's like, no. But they they're like interested in working with us.
Well, that's why I made it TS for mine, because if I didn't do TS or get off the pod, then
Yeah.
we would get popped for the title.
Well, they let me create it. So I have facebook.com/talkshitmedia. So that's that. And then I put in a $sign for the S. But then when I tried to I don't know what the fuck happened. It doesn't matter. Fuck Zuckerberg. Fuckerberg. Speaking of sociopaths. All right. Therapy question number 5. If you had to choose between never being able to lie again or never being able to tell the truth again, what would you pick?
Never being able to tell a lie again. Because then you just tell the truth all the time. People be like, he's blunt, but he says it like it is. Like, you would just be like...
That's like,
yeah.
I don't know. I guess, yeah, it would
Because then
be
you'd
really
be lying all the time. That
only
doesn't...
lying. That would
That
really
sounds,
fuck you
that
up.
would, yeah.
That would break your spirituality.
Yeah, dude, that's like all you could do. And they'd be like, you don't even care. And you'd be like, you'd have to be like, you're right, I don't, even though you do. Like, everything you'd say would be a lie. You could never tell the truth.
I know, and you couldn't even tell people that all you could say is a lie, because that would be the truth. So you couldn't be like, whatever I say, it's the opposite of what I mean. And, because that would be the truth. So you could never even, like, guide somebody to, like, figure out what the
And
fuck
then
is
you'd
real.
then you'd pretend to be Jewish and black and a bunch of other things. And
Oh,
you
wait,
would run...
are you just Santos? George Santos?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then you'd run for political office and succeed, And no, we're not stepping down. I lied my way into the seat. Who the fuck
I
do you
think
think you
both Donald Trump and George Santos had this like genie question, and they both picked never tell the truth again.
are? Oh, yeah, that was one of them.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we'll take that one.
Are you serious? This is the best deal. I'll never tell the truth again. I'm just going to win in a bigly way. Everyone's going to believe me. Everyone's going to.
Yeah, unless they start witch hunts. You know, it's
Everyone's
always a witch hunt.
talking. Everyone's talking about how truthful I am. It's the best deal. Yeah, he'd probably take. I could see that. I would never tell a lie.
It seems like that they did take that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Santos for
Yeah,
sure.
never tell a lie again. It's definitely the better of the two.
Yeah, because
I don't really like.
Honest.
Yeah.
And you would also avoid a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
You couldn't be like you couldn't lie if somebody asked you a straight up question.
But then you could never then do like criminal shit because if you got put into like a.
Well, yeah, and obviously most of these things when it comes to superpowers, abilities, things that I would do, I resort to like, I'd rob a bank or I'd steal some jewels. Like I'm always on that, I'm on that thieving tip. And that's just because I'm so not like
we're criming all the time.
Yeah.
Like Donald Trump.
Yeah, like.
We can't stop criming. All we do is crime.
All I do is crime, no matter what. I got criming on my mind. I could never crime enough.
And I put your hands up.
No, and then when the documents come up in the building, those boxes go up, and they say left.
They don't say that.
Yeah.
Trump moves on.
On the plane, off the plane, on the plane, off the plane. Yeah, no, yeah, that would be rough, but then you just couldn't get caught, But you would avoid a lot of other headaches, bullshit. Some people would think you were a dick because you are just like, you would never lie.
Yeah, but people would hate you if all you did was lie.
Yeah, no, you would at least if you could never tell a lie again, you'd still have some sort of like almost free will. Because if that your whole life would be beholden to the lies that you tell.
Yeah, and just because you could only tell the truth doesn't mean you have to tell the truth. Like you could just not say anything.
Well, then you could just not lie and not say anything. But then people
right.
either way.
But then you
silent.
couldn't say no. Yeah, no. I'm saying like most of the time you want to tell the truth, anyways. So you will, but if you don't want to tell the truth, you just don't say anything. But with the lying, anytime you talk, you're lying. So you couldn't. If you wanted to avoid it, then you couldn't say anything ever.
Well, you just couldn't tell stories. You couldn't.
Oh, you could.
But you would, people would feel good. Like, how do I look nice? You're like, you look great. You want to look terrible. So like,
if they're like, do I look bad? And do I look good?
And they don't.
And they do.
You'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Depending on delivery, you could play it off like a sarcastic ass. It's like, are you rich? You're like, I just have millions of dollars, and you can say it, and they'd be like, dude, he's never.
You could say that now,
No, true.
Okay. Final therapy question. What's your stance on the etiquette of double dipping chips? Is it a harmless indulgence or a crime against humanity?
Depends on the circumstances. If I'm eating, me and you are eating chips and queso, just me and you, I'm going to try not to double dip.
I don't do it out of courtesy when I'm eating with other people. However, like when someone else does it, it doesn't bother me at all. Like it feels like everybody's like, whoa, double dipping.
If there's like 5 people slamming on some salsa, that's weird. So I think it's really about who you're eating this dip with. If it's a big community dip, I don't think you should double dip. I don't think you should.
I wouldn't, but does it bother you if somebody else does?
If they're doing it every dip, if they're doing it every chip, they're doing a double dip, that's weird.
You would call them out?
I don't know if I'd call them out, but I'd judge the fuck out of them. I'd point it out to other people.
Would it make you feel uncomfortable?
I'd be like, look at fucking Randy over here double dipping every chip. And I'd make sure they saw it, and they'd be like, whoa, that's weird.
Okay, just take the social, like, norms aspect out of it. Like, does somebody actually double dipping bother you that you're having to eat after that?
No, unless they're, like, gross.
Right.
Like if you're gross, like you don't even get a chip to dip. Like
right. So my point is, like, I feel like people overreact when they call people out for double dipping.
Yeah.
It's like, relax, asshole. Like,
Yeah, you can thank Seinfeld for that for sure. But I mean, like,
like Larry David, obviously.
yeah,
Oh, that's okay. This is a Larry David question because that I forgot that was the last one because I was trying to get more questions. I used Larry David in the style of. So this is what this is.
but like I said, if it's a bunch of rando people and I see you double dipping, I might not get more dip because I see you double dip and be like, that guy's gross and he keeps double dipping and I don't even know who the fuck he is. That's weird to me. So I might do that. But if it's
I
like,
mean, I'll make out with like a random girl that I just met. Like, I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the
yeah,
diff?
but if you're there and you see a random chick that's hot double dip, you might let that slide. But if I'm at a house party and someone's double dipping every chip in the queso and some grungy looking fuck that I've never met before, I'm probably gonna avoid the queso. I'm gonna avoid the spinach artichoke dip because this guy's like
You're saying like
egregiously double dipping.
there's a spectrum.
Yeah,
Of
there's
double
degrees.
dipping.
There's degrees to
Yeah.
the double dip. Some people, it's not as bad. It's like a traffic stop. It's like, oh, you got
So
EJ.
hot girls get privilege.
Yeah, in the chip realm, in the dip realm, yeah. I mean, I think that's fair.
I agree.
Like
I
I'd
mean,
be,
it's not fair, but I agree with you.
I'm just saying, I would be less weirded out if it was like I was eating chips and dip, and there was like 8 other girls who were all eating chips and dip. That if it was me and 8 other dudes, and I saw another dude, because you also can't yell at a chick for double dipping. You might
What?
because you're a Kevin.
I don't yell at anybody.
You're
for
a
double
Kevin.
dipping.
You're a Kevin.
Oh, okay. Um, but the problem though, if it's you and like 8 other girls, they're all like on their cycle together, so it could be real bad.
Jesus.
They're synced up.
That's ridiculous. But possible.
Okay, y'all. So we are done with therapy questions. We are now on to the topics, and basically it's one topic, and that is the indicted, the indictment, the arrest, the arraignment of former president, never billionaire, Donald J. Trump.
Yep. Indicted. 37 federal indictments.
30s. Yeah, whenever he announced it before before Smith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, before Jack Smith came out and released the indictment, he was saying 7 counts. Nah, 37.
Yeah, well, there's 30 others. Those 7 are like the big ones that are like big ones, but they're all pretty big. So he's been
No, because there's 31 counts of the Espionage Act that he violated.
Oh yeah. No,
I mean, that's big. Okay, so real quick, can we explain to people what the Espionage Act says? And like Trump's out there, he's like, "I'm not a spy. I'm not. This isn't like something I'm doing clandestinely. It's not espionage. I'm not a spy." Well, it doesn't say that in the Espionage Act. Like what it says is, if you are holding government documents that have to pertain to national defense, then whether it's classified or not, then you're violating the Espionage Act. So, like, do you think that Trump, because I think this, but nobody's really talking about it, that he has all these documents, specifically ones about nuclear weapons, about how we would invade Iran, with the vulnerabilities of the United States if we got invaded. That's all on this. And you think he sold those to the Saudis and the Russians?
It's possible. I mean, you see where there's multiple.
Why did Jared Kushner get $2 billion?
Yeah, well, there's all these just goofy things, like when you think about the fact that one of them is in a bathroom. So there's a bathroom full of boxes.
A bathroom with a chandelier.
Yeah, with a chandelier, and then all over this bathroom that's in Mar-a-Lago. Then there was another room that was full of boxes that I saw that had a copy machine in against the wall. Like,
yeah,
bro.
like, you know, you need to make copies of it. Like, it's right here, bro.
Bro, there's a copy machine, and what's wild to me is there's multiple people. There was that Chinese national who got caught
Two,
with,
two.
yeah, two. Well, there was one of them who got caught with like electronic devices and cameras, and in her hotel she had a thing to spy like secret cameras, all sorts of weird shit, all these thumbs drives and flash drives and hard drives, and you know all this stuff like was just lying the fuck around.
On the stage in the ballroom. And all those pictures that they were provided with the indictment weren't taken by the FBI. It was They were taken contemporaneously by Trump's staff. So these are like photos like on the phone of like somebody who works at Mar-a-Lago. And um just it I just have to like, people are like, oh, because he wanted to like show off and shit. It's like, not like, why these specific ones? Like, and we were always told like he never read like the daily briefing and shit. So how did he like specify these particular, like the most like secret of secrets?
Yeah, I mean, and that's obviously why he decided to run. Like,
As a get out of jail free
yeah,
card?
to try to potentially, like, if he can get reelected, he might be able to pardon himself. So that's why I think he announced when he announced that he was running, because he knew it was a matter of time before he got indicted on all of this stuff. He knew it. He knew that there's people flipping. You know, Mark Meadows is flipped. His assistant is also indicted on shit ton of charges because he helped him move these documents.
Yeah. So his co-defendant is his body man. So he's like the bodyguard and valet for Trump. They're in court today together, sitting next to each other because they're both under an indictment. And as soon as it's time for them to leave, and there's like 2 rows of Secret Service and like 3 rows of Miami cops. But as soon as they're ready to leave, all of the Secret Service stands up and gets in a single file line to go out the door, and he pops up like right there and gets in line right behind him. So he's like in the middle of the Secret Service. So he's no longer the co-defendant. He's now like guarding Trump leaving the courtroom, even though he's under indictment. And the judge told him, both of them, that they're not allowed to talk to each other about the case.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he well, and so on this thing is, if Trump commits another crime, whether it's federal, state, or local, while he like before the trial, then they'll revoke his like bail or bond or whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't set bail or bond; they just let him go. But like they would revoke that and they would arrest him. So like if you can get like an audio recording of him talking to this Nada guy, his co-defendant, about the case, then that's the way to get him in jail a lot sooner than having the trial.
Yeah, I mean, the whole situation is fucked. And yeah, those pictures in the ballroom on the stage, they would be present during like parties. So there's like tons of people.
Yeah, there was 10,000 people from the time that Trump took the documents till they got him back last year. 10,000 people visited or went through Mar-a-Lago for parties.
And they have, you know, a lot of stuff that suggests, well, not doesn't suggest, allegedly, he's like told people where to put stuff and like directed people where to put it. And he's, one of his things is he didn't know they were there and people moved them and he wasn't paying attention.
No, it's not allegedly. Like we have the text like that from him saying that, like he's telling, and like he told Nada to move the boxes so his own lawyer couldn't see them.
Yeah, once his lawyer's like, dude, we got to give all this shit back. He's like, move them, hide
He's
them.
like, and he goes, and he also said, like, what if we just don't? What if we just tell him we don't have any documents? That's what he's telling his lawyer. He's like, wouldn't it be better if we just said no and we didn't play ball? And his lawyer's like, no, it wouldn't be better. Like, and then, yeah. I mean, I could not believe, like, so it is weird that they're in the bathroom and on the stage, but how many of them? It's like, you've got like rooms and places full of stacks and stacks of documents. Like it's like they were like a huge part of his life, you know.
Yeah,
it's like I got documents here, I got documents there.
We are at a turning point in our nation's history. Targeting prosecution of a leading political opponent is the type of thing you see in dictatorships like Cuba and Venezuela.
Who's saying that? Is that Tucker Carlson?
No, that's Ali Haba, a lawyer attorney.
Fox News.
attorney for former President Trump repeated the former president's claims. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
dumb. Okay, like in Korea they've done this, in France they've done this, and it would be the worst thing ever if we didn't prosecute him. And are you
yeah,
saying like,
right. That's what I
are you,
think.
yeah, and are you saying like running for president is you get immunity now? So it's okay if you commit crimes, but if you're running for president, can't do it because that's interfering with the election. Shut the fuck up. Like that's obviously not true. Like if you just
See,
get
and
immunity,
people have said like, "Oh, this is bad for the country." I'm like, if he's allowed to just act with impunity and run around and do whatever the fuck he wants,
that's horrible.
that's worse. Like, if we're a laughing stock, it's because we have all these bullshit politicians that run around on both sides of the aisle and do all this goofy shit, do like insider trading, and are involved in all sorts of goofy shit, or you know, transporting minors across state lines while they're on campaign trails. Matt Gates, the creepy guy who looks like Quagmire across the street from
Yeah, Matt Gates, he said like that this is like that this turns us into a banana republic by locking up our politicians. It's like,
you. No,
no,
you just
this makes
meet,
us a
you pick
country.
up girls outside Banana Republic. That's what you do,
Yeah, and then
weirdo.
sends them Venmo money,
Yeah,
like
sends them Venmo.
so, like 17-year and 16-year-olds. Good job, Matt Gates.
Yeah,
But yeah, but I'm saying this makes us the opposite of a banana republic. This makes us a country that of the rule of law. It's like nobody's above the law. Like, and then they're calling it like this two-tiered justice system because they're trying to compare it to like Biden and Hillary Clinton, which it's not even close to comparable. But it's like, no, you're right. There is a two-tiered justice system, and Trump is benefiting for it. Like his co-defendant had to get fingerprinted, his mugshot taken. They didn't do any of that with Trump. And like anybody in this scenario would have an ankle monitor if they let him out, like in general, like they would take their passport. They're like, is he a flight risk? He owns his own fucking plane. Like, yeah, he's a flight risk. And when, like he could say whatever he wants, like he's empowered and he's like shored up the base. Like, guess what, dude? You're gonna go to jail for the rest of your life. You're 80 years old. Like, I looked at it, and he could potentially get decades, but like the sentencing guidelines is anywhere from 17 and a half years to almost 22. So he's gonna get out when he's 102 years old, and that's gonna get really real for him. The closer it gets to this trial, and don't be surprised if he fucking just takes off and goes to Russia.
oh yeah, I think there's a chance he fucking bails.
And it's going to be to Russia. That lady who said that Biden had pushed her up against a wall and sexually assaulted her.
Yeah, she fled
She
to
just
Russia.
she fled to Russia, like in Snowden's in Russia, and Russia loves this because like Snowden doesn't have to worry about shit in Russia. He's a made man because it's like it's like fuck you America. Like we got like the dude who is most wanted, like just chilling in Russia, living his like best life.
He's got
And
like
yeah.
15 terabytes of shit, and he just gives us like one page every 6 months, and we're oh, and then we just gotta let him stay at the airport.
Well, that was for a while.
No, I know he was just chilling at the
But
airport.
yeah, but and then that obviously that lady is a Russian asset, from the jump, who was like saying that Biden like sexually assaulted her, even though there was no fucking. I talked to my therapist about that, and I was like, it's not true. It's not true. She's like, I don't know. I think it might be. Like, I'm like, no, it's not. And she like, I should like read this article. I'm like, I read them all. Like, she's a fucking idiot. There's no fucking proof. But anyways, so this whataboutism, like Biden and shit. Okay, first of all, Biden himself had his people search for documents, and when they found them, they called the FBI and had them pick it up, and then let the FBI search his house, make sure there wasn't anything left. What did Trump do? He denied he had any of this shit, and then gave some of it and said he gave all of it, and then to the point where
Hid it
they
from
had
his
to, like,
lawyer, so his lawyer signed
yeah,
off that they gave
from his
everything.
own lawyer. Yeah, he made his lawyer sign a fucking fake document saying everything was released. Three lawyers actually. There was lawyer 1 and lawyer 3 were in the meeting where they signed the document, and Trump was there. He delayed his vacation to Bedminster so that he could be there during that meeting where they're like saying that everything's gone. It's just, and then he's an asshole and wants people to record him all the time. So then he's on recording saying, "Look at this, look at this. As president, I could have declassified it, but now I can't. It's still secret."
Well, and you've seen what he's saying, that now that he's been indicted, he's like, now that the seal has been broken, I'm going to investigate basically anybody who had anything to do with me being in this position I'm in now, in the Biden crime family. I love how that's the goofiest shit, bunch of goobers.
Yeah, and also there's a senator saying that they're going to block all nominations to the Department of Justice from here on out, to get back at them. As soon as the House was taken by the Republicans at the beginning of this year, right? Yeah. Because it was 2022, but they were sworn in January of 2023. They created a committee called the Weaponization of Government, like prevention or some shit. So it's supposed to go after, like, what they claim is government weaponization on people. So they're like literally weaponizing the government to go after people, and they're saying that they're going to stop all nominations to the Department of Justice. Is that not weaponization?
Well, and
Trump is saying that he's going to investigate everybody if he gets back in. Get the fuck. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I was to say, and it's like that's the same shit with Trump, and that Trump increased all the laws for mishandling classified documents and top secret documents because of Hillary Clinton. So he's being prosecuted under his higher penalties he created with his own administration. So he's being charged with all these felonies because he made all of these things felonies. Some of the things that he has been charged with would have been misdemeanors before he got into office, and then he made them all felonies, and now he's being charged under a law that he helped make more strict.
He partially got elected because he was saying that Hillary was disqualified from being president because of the emails scandal. He said literally verbatim that she would be investigated for years and she would be a president who's indicted and eventually go to a criminal trial. That was what he said. Well, guess what? That's what's happening to him. Think about this. Bro, this all happened after January 6th, after he's no longer the president.
Yeah.
He could have walked out of the White House. They didn't get convicted for the impeachment.
Well, and I told people for years, and I was like, Trump's going to go to jail at some point. People were like, no, never. I don't think he is. And I was like, no, there's enough people. And look, if you want to make a case and say that there's a lot of people who have a vested interest in seeing Donald Trump go to jail because he's a fucking asshole, I would 100% agree with that. Absolutely. He is literally some bully that talks shit to everybody, and then finally one of the nerdy kids at lunch actually hits him first and knocks him on his ass, and everybody's like, fuck that kid. It's the exact same thing. But there's a lot of people who have a vested interest who have tried and failed because he's very slippery and good at ducking and dodging shit. And he has supposedly has a bunch of money, but he knows a lot of powerful people. He can make shit go away, disappear, whatever. He's been caught before, but now it's there's a lot of people who, since he's been president, were waiting for him to get out of office. He was being investigated for shit before he got out of office, let alone before he got into office.
The Russia hoax.
No. I mean,
where
before
his campaign manager got arrested.
Well, I mean, before he even went to office, some of this fraud shit against the Trump organization was before he was. They got delayed.
He had to settle the Trump College or Trump University in San Diego during his campaign in 2016.
He flooded one of his office buildings that was full of paperwork whenever there was an issue, whenever he was being charged with, I think we talked about it last podcast, but illegal racist practices in his
where they were discriminating against white
and he
people.
Got sued by the Justice Department. So it's not the first time he's been in trouble for doing this shit. So now there's a lot of people who've been coming after him, who've been buying his time, and Trump's just sloppy as fuck, dude.
I
Trump
know.
is just sloppy as shit.
Just look at him. Like, he's sloppy. Like, he called Chris Christie fat. It's like, bro, have you looked at yourself
Well, no, I'm
lately?
just talking about in how he goes about doing his business. He's super
Well,
sloppy and he throws his weight around, he throws his money around, and he intimidates people. But when it comes to like the brass tacks, which is something that Jack Smith is into, he's like, that's his whole thing. Is he handles like espionage, mishandling of classified documents. He's got tons of convictions on some of this stuff, or he's
he
done
was
this
the
before.
he was the head prosecutor for John Edwards. And if y'all don't remember, John Edwards was the vice president nominee for the Democrats with John Kerry versus Bush. And he was like the golden boy, dude. He was like good looking, smart, and uh, they got him. And what they get him on was he actually was found not guilty, I think, but it was paying. He was paying the woman he was having an affair with while his wife had cancer. He paid her to like not say anything when they were running for president, or he was vice president.
Yeah.
But they like said his argument was that he paid that so like he could keep his family together, and it wasn't a campaign contribution like fraud, and they bought it. Kind of made sense.
Mm.
But I was watching. I saw a clip on Fox News, like Judge Janine Pirro. She was like,
Bro, she's wild.
she is so wild. She's so drunk. She needs rehab, like for real. Hit me up, if you need a sponsor, Judge. But no, what she said was that Jack Smith was the prosecutor for John Edwards, so this is a political indictment. It's like John Edwards was like the second in line Democrat. Like that proves that he's not like partisan. He's like went after John Edwards, he's going after Trump because they both.
But yeah, but they'll have Newt Gingrich on there all the time to blab his mouth. I know Newt Gingrich is blabbing his mouth, and he was cheating on his wife while she had cancer the entire time.
Twice.
Yeah, 2 times.
So he cheated on his wife who had cancer. She died, and then he cheated on that person with somebody else while she had cancer. 2 cancer wives that he cheated on, and he was the family values Speaker of the House. But no, he's been asked. He's testified in front of a grand jury in Georgia for the Georgia shit.
Well, I think a lot of them are
the January 6th. But Georgia is a lot like to do with January 6th because
they coincide.
Yeah, because basically they're like trying to get the fake electors in, and they just like needed to delay like a little bit longer. So what delayed it, or what was supposed to delay it? January 6th.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then everyone's
so think about that. Like, so this guy trying not to leave office commits all these crimes, like attacks the Capitol, tries to swindle the Secretary of State of Georgia for 11,780 votes, tries to do fake electors to go in there and just cast votes that aren't real votes. So he's willing to do all that just to stay. And then he steals all these documents, the highest top secret shit you could ever steal.
Shit that he's not allowed to classify or declassify stuff. Some of that stuff that he has is like military secrets, like that's owned by the Pentagon. Like he doesn't have the ability to say like, I can keep this is declassified. Like that's never an option.
No, he could have declassified it like when he was the president. However, there's a process when that, like he said, I could just I could declassify by thinking about it. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, and so he could have done that, but you would also, because like this was human intelligence, like operators who got this information, like you would go to the CIA or, the NSA or whoever produced the document or the information and ask them if it would be okay, because this is about saving people's lives. Like he put all these like CIA operatives at risk by having these documents, because in those documents it will say who got this information, and then also all of our soldiers. And that brings me to fucking Nikki Haley, who's running for president, former governor of South Carolina. She said, if what's true, well, first of all, she was like getting his back. Then the indictment came out, and she said, if what's true, it's, it is really reckless, like what he did with these documents. It's, puts our soldiers at risk. Her husband is an active soldier who's deploying this weekend. That's what she said. So, and then right after that, she said if she became president, she would pardon Donald Trump.
No,
And
of course.
and Tim Scott has said that, and Ron DeSantis has said that. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like this sick play, like it's okay if you don't vote for him and vote for me because I'll just pardon him, and so you can love him and we can he'll be fine. It's like no, dude.
Yeah, whenever I was watching The War Room this morning, and about
War Room, Steve Bannon's podcast. Shout
um,
out, start paying your boys.
um, they were talking about how like every Republican, if you want to be president, you should be down here campaigning for Trump and voicing your displeasure. If you want to be the next president and it's not him, then you should be up here defending him. That's what you should be doing. And it's just like kissing
Literally,
ass. People
I
doing
think less
that.
than less than 200 people showed up today.
I think that people are like pushing it and grilling them like that for not going because they're like, okay, like if you're thinking from a vote sense, now it might. I mean, we'll see how big it is, but a lot of these people would still vote for him, which is wild, and would vote for Trump over anybody else. So it's like you still have to show loyalty to the group to win their vote if Trump doesn't run. And there's a whole nother thing where they're just trying to do this to make them not run. And it's like, or make him not run. They just want him to go away. I think Rachel Maddow said that. Like, oh, if Trump were to go away, drop out of the race.
Yeah. They caught like she was saying, like if he could strike a deal by saying he wouldn't run, would they take that deal? But this has nothing to do with him running. It's not stopping him from doing anything other than the time he has to spend in court, like when the trial starts. Like he could still run. It is fucking insane that the people would vote for a convicted felon to be the president of the United States. Like that's how bankrupt the right wing is, how the Republican Party is. They can't find a better person than somebody who attacked the Capitol and stole top secret documents and put them in a bathroom with a chandelier. Like that's your best move. Like you guys just need to like disband as a party. Like it's you're not a party anymore. You're like fucking fascist movement.
Yeah, I think that. Well, Christie, like we talked about, has just been like slanging mud and talking mad shit.
I like Christie, and I would like to shout out all of our listeners. If you have $1 or $5, donate to Chris Christie's campaign, because in order to get on the debate stage, you have to have 40,000 individual donors. So we just need to get him to 40,000 so he can be on that stage with Trump.
Yeah, I just want him on the stage. Well, Trump's not going, remember?
No, okay, but I said this on the podcast before, like about that his ego wouldn't let him miss it. Christie just said that in the town hall that he did on CNN. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he was like, his ego. He's like, maybe the first one he'll miss, and then he'll see me on stage just like, crushing it, and then he just won't be able to handle it, and he'll just go to the second one. And I was like, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I doubt he misses the first one, but if he does, he's gonna be like, wow, these people on like TV for an hour.
He'll announce like 2 days before, he'll be like, look, I thought about it. People want me there. They're saying, Trump, you had the best ratings when you were doing debates. Everybody loved it. Everybody was, I was great. Crooked Hillary, we went after her. Everyone saw. Everyone talked about it. That's what we should have done. She should be in jail. It's the worst deal we've ever had, Hillary not being in jail. But I'm going to be at this debate. And that'll be like 2 days before.
But her emails.
But that'll be like 2 days before.
Yeah.
He'll announce it like 2 days before. Like
or the day of.
Because people are just begging me to be there. Trump, it won't be the same without you.
I wonder if he even has 40,000 individual donors.
Oh, he definitely does, man. There's people out there that some people just like fully buy into it. Like somebody that we grew up with is just like, I mean, we talked about it off air, but this talks about like posts like the most absurd. So like Twitter is a fucking war zone right now.
Yeah, and it's a nightmare.
And people are posting the craziest shit, all this Obama conspiracy theories and all this stuff, and people just jumping on this bandwagon. It's wild. It's like some of it's like super racist memes and shit, and we know some people that like share that shit or like and comment or like, yeah, man, you know what it's about. And so there's like, I think that there's a lot of people that are like more closeted about it because they know that they might be viewed as like what they're saying is bullshit or a little bit crazy. But there's a whole sect of people that just don't give a fuck and they like interact with it. It's super wild, man. It's there's definitely
we call that the Let's Go Brandon crew.
yeah, but no, the Let's Go Brandon crew are like just really like Let's Go Brandon, like they're in your face about it.
Okay, but I'm saying everybody that yeah, that's what, yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Okay.
that are in your face, but they posted something like, "Oh, you know, people hate you for the way you live your life, and they want to take it from you, and they want you to conform to yours and destroy it." And I've refrained for weeks on saying anything. I'm not gonna unfollow this person or
Isn't
unfriend
it?
them because they post the craziest shit, and I sent them a message, and I was just like, "Don't you realize that people could say that about exactly what your stance is? That like
Yes,
you
that's what I'm
hate,
saying.
like
It's
you."
it's they're projecting yet again. It's like you got DeSantis like burning books and like banning abortion. It's like you guys are like the big government. You're like the one who's trying to like like form everybody like to what you fucking believe. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Like if you can't say that, like that's literally the pot. I had said I was like, don't you understand the irony of this meme?
Yeah, no, that's the problem.
Because
They
like
don't.
because it's
Like they
exactly
live in
what you're
this
doing.
fucking delusional ass like Orwellian world. Like a good test for stuff like this is with like Trump. Okay, is if Barack Obama was accused of doing the same things, they would have already shot him. Like, you know, like they would lose their mind. So just put that shit in
Yeah,
perspective.
they got mad when he wore a tan suit.
Yeah. I mean, I did too. It wasn't that fly,
Yeah,
but you know, that was just my, you know, style preferences.
but no,
But
I mean, yeah, no,
that, and then also the one that I was saying to you yesterday, which is if just when you're talking to somebody who's like delusional, you're like, if all this stuff that they're saying about Trump was true, how do you think he would be acting? And it's exactly how he's acting right now. Like, if it was all true, he wouldn't be like, yeah, I did it. You guys got me. No, he'd be like, fucking witch hunt. This is bullshit.
yeah.
Like, you know, like Jack Smith is a fascist. Like he said that. Like it's like what the fuck are you like? So he's doing exactly what you would think he would do if everything he's being accused of is true, which I believe it is. So, and if Barack Obama did like was accused of doing the same things, the whole like Fox News head would explode. Like they would be like off air for like an
He'd be
hour.
like,
Like,
he'd be living in Cuba. He'd be hiding in Cuba.
yeah,
And they'd be like, I knew it. Him and Castro. Like
yeah,
yeah, like, no, definitely. There's definitely a mega double standard when it comes to it. I mean, obviously, it's more than likely that he did this. There's like,
it's not more than likely. Like we have tapes
uh,
of him admitting to it.
I know, like that's what, the evidence. If all of it's true and they have everything they say they have, it's like insurmountable. And
Yeah, his former.
Jack Smith doesn't seem like the type to put out like a 49-page indictment that's like built off of bullshit and hearsay. Like I
No,
don't
not at
think that
all.
that's the
Like,
case. That's like no that's why they put him in charge of it, and also to keep it like separate from the Justice Department and be like this is
right.
an unbiased thing. And that's he just goes after people who break the law. Period. We didn't
Yeah,
hear anything from like 6.5, 7 months. You didn't hear shit from him, and then he dropped some like fucking soliloquy down of just like look at all this shit. And I mean there was warnings where like even Comey was like, they asked him whenever with all the Russia stuff, they're like, do you think there is enough to charge him when he gets out of office? And he said yes.
yeah.
Or
We
it was
all
a
know
Mueller.
that.
It was the Mueller report. It was the Mueller report. Mueller was like, no, I think that like I don't think that we're not going to, but I think that there's enough here to where you could if he was out of office.
Well, yeah. It's not that we're not going to. It's since 1973, the Justice Department has a rule that you can't indict a sitting president. So it's like you had to wait till he got out of office, but Mueller put in like 12 things of like obstruction of justice and contacts with the Russians. Like he's like these are all like a outline of all the crimes he committed, but we can't charge him. But then Bill Barr, his attorney general, got ahead of it and came out with a statement summarizing the Mueller report before it was out, and he just lied. He's like it doesn't show anything in it, which it did. But that same Bill Barr, his former hand-picked attorney general, butt boy, like body shield, just said if half of the shit that he's accused of in
He's
the indictment is
toast.
true, he's toast.
Yeah, he's like, dude, he's like, it's very detailed and
And
very.
he was saying like, if you care about national security at all, like you were like, this is fucking crazy to you. And he was involved in like I believe the Pentagon or the National Security Administration before, so he's like into it.
No, he said that he's like, look, has he been a victim before? Sure. Have people overcharged him before? Yes.
When?
Have no, hold on. And he's like, have people like attacked Trump unfairly at times? Absolutely. Is this one of those times? No. He's like, no. He's like, this is not him saying that he's fucked. He's like, no, he's pretty much screwed. And this is something we've been talking about for over a year on this podcast, where there's some of it's just so blatant. That's why he really wanted to get back into office to buy himself more time. And I think that, you know, running for re-election is like a stall tactic. Everything's a stall tactic because he knows at the end of the day what he did. He knows what they know. And now he has a better understanding of what they know. All these people have flipped on him because he's not in charge anymore. If he was still in charge, they wouldn't flip on him. But since he's not, they're more incentivized to flip because if they don't,
they're going to jail.
They're going to jail.
Right. And they've seen multiple Trump like employees, people like that work with them, go to jail. And the only reason why they got out of jail was because he pardoned them, other than Michael Cohen. He served the full time, but you know, Manafort, Roger Stone.
And that's really because he admitted he pled guilty to a crime that involved Trump that down the road might come back and bite him in the ass. So like Cohen hurt his credibility when it came to his group of people, where Cohen's like, no, I did that and we did it and I'm going to jail. And he talked right off the bat. And the moment he did that, he was dead to Trump because he broke that like circle of trust where it's like, all right, you're going to go down with the ship. You just got to go.
He's been his lawyer for like 30 years and then he just fucked you.
Yeah. So he's like, no. He's probably, and the real question is like, there's documents that are still missing that are described in audio tapes where they still don't know where they are and never got those back. In a digitized world, I bet you most of that shit's digitized. That's like where, you know, or he has obviously had a copy machine in one of the rooms, or you could take a shit and just take pictures on your fucking Google Pixel and email them out on hot Dropbox. Like, it's not like it was set up to where you had to be super covert about stealing that information, because it was thrown about. It was on top of the credenza in the cigar lounge. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
I know, but okay, and then also think about this. As detailed, and I've heard a lot of lawyers say, like, this is one of the most like unbelievable detailed indictments. They call it a speaking indictment, but they're like, this is even like, but they're saying like they're impressed. However, everybody agrees that this is not everything, because you're not going to put all your cards on the table for no reason.
No, definitely not.
So think about that. There's other shit that they know that we don't even know yet. And think about all the shit that they like that he did that we just don't know about. You know, it's like if you think that we got every single time that he like was like acting frivolous with like showing people classified documents, no, that's just what we have on tape. It's like he probably did it like 50 other times if he didn't sell it to the Saudis and the Russians, like, which I feel like the $2 billion for Jared Kushner might include, like,
if he did,
this is Iran's nuclear program. This is how the United States would.
Well, I mean, and that's what I'm saying is if some of those things are being facilitated, Mark Meadows might be facilitating some of those meetings, conversations, be in on them, being his like right hand point man, being in on it. So if that's the case, then he pled guilty to get lesser charges. So he took the immunity deal, but it's not 100% immunity for Mark Meadows. He doesn't get to walk away from this without being charged. He has to be honest and truthful about everything and provide all the information, and he's going to be charged. Mark Meadows is probably going to jail or going to be on some crazy long house arrest, suspended sentence type shit. But he pled for immunity on like the big shit. So
like going to jail for life for committing treason.
So that's where if he was even remotely near that, and they have some circumstantial evidence, and they're looking for Mark Meadows to substantiate that, that's a really big deal. And if he chooses not to, he can go to prison for the rest of his life, and then the immunity deal's off the table. But we don't know right now what Mark Meadows took an immunity deal for to get lesser charges. We don't know. Obviously, espionage.
Probably committing treason.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's got to be more than just this espionage shit, because obviously that his right hand man didn't crack the guy moving all the shit, but he acted directly with Trump. He might, but I doubt. I mean, I doubt he does. I bet he goes down.
He's
got
to figure out real quick that Trump doesn't give a shit, and like Trump's lawyer was talking to him today in the courtroom, which that's not client attorney privilege, because it's not his lawyer. So what the fuck is he doing? Like, you better talk to your lawyer, and your lawyer could, maybe talk to, like, so I'm telling you, like, he's gonna figure out, like, oh, Trump doesn't give a fuck about me, and I'm gonna go down with the ship, and maybe he'll flip. I mean, he's at opportunities, but Mark Meadows, Cassidy Hutchinson was his assistant who testified in the she said that they asked her if Mark Meadows was asking Trump for a pardon before they left office, and she said yes. And so you don't ask for pardons if you don't think you committed a crime. But remember, him and Trump and Giuliani were selling pardons for $2 million a pop, and they would split the money, $1 million each. Yeah. So guess who doesn't have $2 million to just spend? Is Mark Meadows. He's just like he was like in the House of Representatives, like, some country bumpkin idiot. Like, he doesn't have $2 million to drop on a pardon. Well, it turns out Trump being so cheap and like needing money for pardons, it's gonna come back to fuck him, because Mark Meadows had to testify at all these committees but if he was just pardoned, then he wouldn't have to do any of that. He was just like, I'm pardoned. Like, you can't even fucking talk to me. Yeah. So Trump, again, his cheap bullshit is coming back to haunt him.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, man. I mean, he's got 71 pending indictments for criminal charges.
I added them up the other day and just like was talking to people. I'm like, that's 70. We're up to 71 indictments now,
and that's not
in 2 months.
January 6th or any of the Georgia stuff.
That's one indictment a day from when he got indicted in New York to when he got indicted this time down in Florida. So that's one indictment every day for 71 days.
The judge that he appointed, it's like they're talking about the Justice Department potentially like having her removed or asking her to recuse herself, because from the case she already got slapped down with the special investigator and a special master shit and all the documents.
With the same case. Like,
the same case. So it's almost
she was like trying to prevent. Yeah, she was trying to prevent the FBI from executing the search warrant on Mar-a-Lago, and they went to the appeals court, and which is like the most conservative appeals court in like the country, besides maybe like the district out there in Texas that like try to overturn to try to ban the abortion pill to take. Yeah, but this one is like super conservative at the appellate court, and they were like, hey, like, that's not something you're allowed to do, and like, you're really making us look bad. And so they reversed it, and then
they left had a scathing words on it too, basically calling her out for her bullshit.
Yeah, they didn't only reverse it, they like scolded her for like even doing what she did.
Well, and they're saying that if she tried to pull any shit moving forward, they just moved to have her disbarred.
Well, so that she was appointed by Trump after he lost the election. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, Eileen Cannon.
I would fuck her. She's like, as long as she was like in the judge outfit to start. She's kind of hot and crazy, obviously.
Yeah, obviously crazy.
Yeah. So it's up to her to recuse herself. But what the statute says for conduct with the federal judges is, if anybody could reasonably question whether like that you were fair in this, or if you're going to be fair during this trial, then you should recuse yourself. I think we could all reasonably say that I don't think it's going to be fair with her being the judge, because she already tried to help Trump out earlier in this case.
Yeah.
And got rebuked by a bunch of like conservative Republican judges.
Her constituents.
Yeah. So, I mean, Okay, well, what I was gonna say is, so there's four federal judges in the 11th Circuit down in Florida, and they randomly pick like who gets assigned to what case. So out of the four, 25% she got picked, and she did. Which, talk about like, if you're trying to tell me like Jack Smith, it's Biden's Justice Department, and they're coming after you because Biden. It's like, bro, who's helping you out in Florida where you get like the one bitch who has like wants to like suck your dick, and like it wouldn't be sexual assault.
Yeah, like feels like she owes you her spot. No, but that's why he appointed so many judges. I swear he did that because like anywhere he appoints judges, he's like breaking the law.
This is what I'm saying. Like when we say like,
banking on that maybe it'll happen.
yeah, like when we talk about packing the Supreme Court, which I am a big fan of, it's like Trump already packed the fucking court. I think he appointed like 25 or 30% of all the judges in the federal court system while he was in one term. And just like he got three fucking Supreme Court justices on the bench. Like,
Yeah.
like that's packing the fucking court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, good on him. That's like the one thing he was the only thing he's been competent at. It's like getting judges like into places. But also like the Biden administration refuses to talk about this because they don't want that perception that they're like, it's their Justice Department.
No,
Jack
that's
Smith,
smart.
yeah, Jack Smith was not a political appointee. He's a career prosecutor for the DOJ. So, no, like wasn't a Democrat who put him in his job. Wasn't a Republican. He was like hired by the Department of Justice to like try fucking cases because he's a good lawyer.
He's like John Wick.
Yeah, I heard a lot of chatter on the internet was girls were into Jack Smith.
He's Stone Cold Killer, dude.
Yeah, big dick energy.
Yeah. Oh my God, huge dick energy. That dude's
So then I also saw when they were in the
$5
courtroom.
foot long, dude. That guy's packing, dude. Cold cut trio for sure.
Yeah, you think you're jerking off a horse, but no,
I know,
it's
it's Jack Smith, and that jizz is $1 million a vial, dude. That's twice. That's real expensive.
But I heard though in the courtroom, so he came to the courtroom even though he didn't have to, but Trump never would look at him the whole time. But when Trump got up to leave, Jack Smith just stared at Trump the entire time and would not break his stare. So he was like flexing on him.
Oh, I bet, dude.
Yeah, he's like, get out my courtroom.
He's
homie.
intense, dude. I bet that's a scary motherfucker, dude.
Apparently he's hot. He's a zaddy.
He's got zaddy vibes.
I don't know. He's got bad hair and like
Yeah, but that's the whole
and like
thing.
acne scars.
Because they're like, we could fix them. All he needs is like
Needs me in his
a
life.
milk facial and a whatever the fuck. That's what they're thinking. So they're like, oh, but he's so smart. And he's tall.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a good actor comparison who's like not like actually good looking, but because they're a movie star, like Liam Neeson.
Everyone thinks they're good looking. I love Liam Neeson because like as his movies age, like you can see like totally he's just like dyed his hair like
Yeah.
just
But
broke.
apparently, and it's actually like verified that he has a huge cock. He's really tall, but he has like a Jack Smith type cock.
Okay.
Shout out my Irish brethren.
Shout out Jack Smith and Liam Neeson. Big wieners, big moves. Bigger than life.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. Bigly
Bigly.
penis. Bigly penis.
You know who doesn't have a big penis?
Donald Trump,
Yeah.
probably.
He has small hands, and Stormy Daniels said she called it a mushroom dick, which I feel like I thought all dicks look like mushrooms, but then somebody was like, no, you never seen one of those mushroom dicks, and I'm like, no, like what are you talking about?
No, never. Thanks though, appreciate it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, but apparently that's the thing.
Well, damn, dude, we're almost at the 2-hour mark, but you know,
We're at like an hour and a half.
hour and 40 minutes. Oh, well, I guess you're at an hour and a half because I run a little bit of time. Touche.
Okay, well,
But I mean, he's indicted, dude.
that's right, and we called it. We said he's gonna get indicted this week, last week, and
And
2
then-
days later he was.
And then they release. I thought they would release everything today, like the full indictment, and then he just did it Friday. He was
He
just
had
like,
to
here.
because Trump was out there lying like from the jump. Like, as soon as he got the call, like I texted you, I was like, Trump just truthed that he got indicted.
Yeah.
But that was because like the news wasn't reporting it. I had the news on, like, and my phone blew blows up when like something like that happens, you know, with notifications from like Wall Street Journal, LA
Yeah.
Times, whatever. So I'm like, is this true? Like, and I'm like, well, if he fucking said it, like on Truth Social,
Well, it's like when he got raided. He said that he got raided. He's always trying to jump the gun and get.
he's trying to break the news. He's trying to control the conversation.
Yeah, he wants to control the narrative so bad. And Jack Smith's like, no, here you go, 50 pages, read it.
Like, yeah, and I heard a couple lawyers today saying nobody's talking about how stupid it was of Jack Smith to hold a press conference about the indictment and say like because he said just read the indictment and you make up your mind, and the lawyer was like, that's not how it works. Like, they tell juries that don't make up your mind by just reading the indictment, like, you know, follow the trial. And that's like, okay, dude, you know, like, that's a stupid technicality. Like,
Yeah,
Jack Smith had to say something because we haven't heard him in 6 months.
well, he wants people to actually
read.
read. He wants people to actually read the indictment and make up their own mind. Is what he's saying. Because
that's what he said. But
yeah,
that's what the lawyer was saying. That was bullshit because that's not how you're supposed to make up your mind. It's like, okay, relax.
Well, he's probably got more bullets in the chamber we don't even fucking know about there, buddy.
For sure.
He's probably got another 350 pages he could fucking write about this shit.
Right.
But we'll hear all about it whenever it goes
And Trump
to court.
said he was indicted on 7 counts, except for it was 37.
Yeah.
So that's why he had to get out there.
Yeah. He's like, nah, dog.
He's like, nah, bro. Yeah.
It's 37, dog. You lie. You cap. That's cap.
That's cap. That's all cap.
That's all
Your
cap.
co-defendant got seven charges, but
Yeah.
you got 37. 31 violating the Espionage Act, you fucking criminal.
Dude, that's wild. That's crazy.
And I also heard somebody saying, like, well, where's, like, Barack Obama? Where's George W. Bush speaking out? And it's like, that's exactly what we don't need to happen, because then that's all Trump would love is, like, Barack Obama to say something. And you're like, see, it's a fucking deep state liberal conspiracy.
See, even Obama, he knows, and he's in on it. He's a Muslim, and he's telling the truth. Like, he'd say some stupid shit.
Socialist Muslim.
Socialist Muslim who's related to Al-Qaeda.
Yeah.
But the coloreds like him, so, you should believe what he tells you. Like, that shit's wild, man.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Good episode.
I mean,
shout out Maggie if she's still watching.
Yeah, shout out Mags, dude. She said she's watched it for the minutes we were late, so she put something in here like, hey, what the fuck? And then, but nah, man, this shit's crazy. We kind of called it. We've been waiting for it slowly but surely. In a bigly way, this motherfucker got indicted, dude. And now we're going to get to see. And then Georgia, I think the rest of them fall. All these people are just dropping like flies. They're reopening investigations. Ethics committees are doing
all
shit.
these bitches fall.
Because I think that now I think some people who were afraid to, say, go after like a creepo like a Matt Gaetz, now they're going to stick Chris Hansen on him, because if he's running around doing goofy...
Catch a Predator?
Yeah, I love that. Chris Hansen for life. Although he got in like trouble, he got arrested for fraud and ripped somebody off on a boat and all sorts of shit. Like just like yeah, dude.
Was he on the Scrooge McDuck?
Yeah, no.
Were you in international waters? Was
No.
it maritime law?
Yeah, it was actually. It was bird time law. No, but I think you made me lose my train of thought, and I'm thinking about the Scrooge McDuck, dude.
I know. How could you not? It's a beautiful vessel.
But I mean,
would you submit it to Below Deck to use your yacht?
Yeah, for sure. Just to flex, and I wouldn't be a guest.
Would you want Captain Lee, Captain Sandy, Captain Glenn, or the Australian? I forget his name, but all the bitches love him.
Probably the Australian, because Australians are wild. They're like,
dude, like this guy, I've never seen like a more like unanimous, like yeah, I'd fuck him, like everybody. It's insane.
Yeah, I'd take that guy.
I don't want Mr. Steal Your Girl on my yacht.
I do, because there's going to be too many. So then you could be like going around. He'd be a great wingman. Like, oh, this is my captain. I own the boat.
It's Jason.
So you'd be like flexing your wealth, but he'd be scooping them up. So he'd be hanging out like, hey, come hang out with me and my buddy. He owns this yacht. I'm the captain of it. It's like, yeah, that hot guy. I pay his bills. Like, come on, dude, let's do that. That'd be tight.
Is he your celebrity hype man?
No, you'd be your celebrity wingman.
Okay. I don't want my wingman crushing more ass than me. I want them like moving secret documents before my lawyer comes and tries to check them out.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, you know there's people who are taking applications for that. I'm sure.
I think it's funny that that co-defendant not a he's not a white. He's not a white. And he's
What?
because Trump is such a fucking racist. Like it's just funny that his body man is like
He's not a white.
that's his last name. Is not.
I know. It's just you're like he's
Wow,
not
it just
a
came
white.
together. It
It
just
just
came
sounds.
together, homie.
Just sounds terrible. But
He's
no,
not a
man.
white.
I mean, we'll see. I'm sure we'll have more come next week, dude. It's just gonna keep flowing out.
Like the toilet flows where the documents were saved.
No, like the drain pool flows, like how the
Oh,
drain,
yeah.
the drain pool.
That was
flowed.
Nada.
Yeah, he drained it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's awesome. That guy's everywhere, dude.
Dude, could you imagine? Like this guy was in the military, and then he was Secret Service, and then Trump's like, "Yo, come down to Mar-a-Lago," and then he's like, "Clean my pool,
Yeah,
but
drain
do,
my-
but do it poorly." And
Yeah, flood my basement with my pool water, boy. And he's just like, yes, sir. And that's what they're saying is that like people view the commander in chief like differently, and I'm like, that's a bad excuse for just being like shitty. Like you're like, that's just shitty.
No, of course it is. He like privately works for him. Like he's like not even part of the government. But just
Works for like
Ugh.
Blackwater or something. He's like a Halliburton fucking contractor. Like,
well, that's what I was thinking. Is like, what did he say to Trump to make Trump think that like, was he like, I would die for you for sure, or did he almost die like protecting Trump one time, and he was like, oh, this guy's down for the cause.
yeah, maybe. Or he's just like, you know, always doing blow with his son, Donald Trump Jr., and they're just like coked out. And he's like, this is my friend.
This is a great guy. This not a guy. Ooh.
And then what's her name? Kimberly Guilfoyle is like, the best are yet to come. Like freaking out. They're all just yacked out. And Trump's like, you know what? I like this guy. He brings me Sudafed when I need it. I need to make.
You know, he used to bring him his Diet Cokes at the White House.
Because he had a Diet Coke button.
Yeah, he had a button installed on the Resolute desk, as they call it, in the Oval. Yeah, and that was not his job, was to bring him. How many Diet Cokes that dude brought?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like when you give treats to your dog, and then like they just become obsessed with you, right? Because you're the treat guy.
Yeah,
he was the Diet Coke guy.
Yeah, he's a Diet Coke guy.
He trained Trump like a dog.
He's like, everywhere I go, he's always got a Diet Coke for me. Hey, move those Diet Cokes. Put the Diet Cokes where those documents are, and put those in the shed out back. Put them in the bathroom at the chandelier. I need these Diet Cokes close by. Not a white. He probably said that
Yeah,
because
he's
racist. Yeah, he does. He probably does. I love him, not a white.
Yeah, he was actually at the dinner table with Kanye West and that Nazi guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nada was there, so he's probably just like they're all like making like anti-Semitic like jokes in front of him, and he's just like, whatever the boss says.
Whatever the boss says. Whatever he says.
Tell him. Also, you were saying Ivanka Trump is changing her name to
Well,
Ivanka
she's trying
Kushner.
to distance herself from like the Trump name, but then it's like Kushner might not be better depending on what comes out.
How is it better?
Yeah, like now you're just like
Chris Christie put your dad's ass in jail, Jared.
true.
Now he's coming after your dad-in-law.
Yeah, dude, that'd be wild if Christie took office and then just started like going after Jared Kushner and just started
He would.
Yeah, he would.
Because he was supposed to be like a special advisor in the White House, and he got fired right as they were going to go get inaugurated in 2017.
Yeah.
And it was because Jared Kushner, told Trump that he's like, this was the lawyer that put my dad in jail. We have to get rid of him. Fuck this guy. And so they did, even though he ran the entire transition into the White House for him and coached him on the debates.
Yeah.
All right, we could go.
Yeah, shit's wild. Well, 91, indicted Bigley. I mean, you can't miss this stuff. So, you got any final thoughts, final words?
Drink bleach.
All right, well, drink bleach.
Oh yeah, and meditate,
Yeah,
bitches.
drink, meditate so that maybe you decide that it's not smart to drink bleach. So meditate first.
Clorox, start paying your boys.
But y'all, everybody just be good. Crazy week. Pay attention. Should be a doozy.
Shout out the Nuggets.
Fucking well, yeah. And shout out Nugs, big time, and the Knights won Vegas, so shout out Vegas too.
Oh yeah, both of those cities' first championships.
Yeah, right. All right, well, everybody just be good, stay safe, and as always, go fuck yourselves.
Shout out.
Recording stopped.